What up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new live episode of Dodgers Territory. We are your hosts, Alanna Rizzo Clint Pasillas. Thank you so much for being here. And a big shout out to the folks that joined Clint and I the past two nights on our post-game show for Dodgers Territory. We had a lot of fun, a lot more fun last night, I have to say, than we did the night before. But we appreciate you being here. Make sure you like us, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, tell your friends, go ahead and pound that subscribe button. We appreciate you very much. Clint, let's get right into the big ticket.
Let's do it.
Wanted to let you guys know, too, that Matt Moreno is going to be joining us momentarily to talk about all things Game 5. I tell you what, my friend, the fire that was lit under that team yesterday is exactly what I needed to see. I have so much more confidence going into Game 5 than I thought I would have. They did everything the right way. Production from bottom of the order. Dave Roberts managed that bullpen brilliantly. The pitching choices that they made. That is the Dodger team that I need to see.
Yeah, here we are 12 hours later-ish, and you still feel good. You still feel really good about what you saw last night. Being able to quiet the Padres fans there in San Diego. It's impressive stuff. Doing it with the bullpen game. I don't think we gave enough credit to the bullpen. We talked a lot about Kike last night, a lot about Will Smith, some Mookie Betts in there, but that bullpen game, I mean, just absolutely nails. They allow 7 hits. Yeah, there were some ducks on the ponds, but to be able to continue to limit or just completely avoid any sort of damage from the Padres was impressive. And we know maybe there's another bullpen game on the horizon for the Dodgers. We'll get into that in just a second. But the stars of the show really were the offense. Everybody hitting is good for the team. Isn't that crazy, Alanna?
It's weird when that happens. I tell you what, up and down the lineup, but I loved Clint seeing Kike Hernandez in the Dodgers lineup. He's a difference maker when it comes to the postseason. Regular season, that's gone, right? It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. What are you doing right now in the postseason? And Kike has a flair for the dramatic. I want to say he has 13 postseason home runs over the course of his career. So Mookie Betts was phenomenal, getting things going early, trying to take that crowd out of, Petco Park out of the game early. You have Mookie doing what he's supposed to do. You got Will Smith there, obviously. I even tweeted it yesterday, put it on X, like, welcome to the postseason, Will Smith. Great to see that swing of the bat from him. Max Muncy, Gavin Lux. It was the lineup construction that I needed to see and the production all the way up and down the lineup. And yeah, KT Toon is absolutely right. The bullpen was nails. The offense showed up, whole lineup. It was funny too, Clint, because I saw Michael Kopech coming in third. I was like, what are we doing? But obviously, Dave Roberts knew way more than I did because it worked out perfectly.
Bold strategy from Dave Roberts, and that is one thing. Yes, thank you. Whoever's running the account right now, I take full credit. Me and Uncle Aggie take full credit for getting Gavin Lux back on track. Not enough love for Gavin Lux as well. Again, the homer off the lefty. I think he has 3 multi-hit games in this 4-game series so far. That is a kid. He is a hungry boy. Missed last season. Had a very, very tough start to the 2024 season, but same like we said with Walker Buehler, whatever happened during the season don't mean shit when you get to the postseason. So you love what you're seeing out of Gavin Lux. Tommy Edman doing literally everything he can to help scratch a run on the board, get on base, do it's impressive to see Tommy Edman. I love that dude. Diane Schroeder thanks me in the chat as well for Gavin Lux. I saw one I wanted to get in here. Speederbilt says the Dodgers bullpen is the best in baseball this year. It is their strength, and we saw it. We saw it in Game 4 there. And what I do like, and we'll talk more about this with Matthew Moreno in just a second, but what I do like is the fact that they did go to Kopech there in that 3rd inning. And if there is some of the concerns, if people, if they decide to run a bullpen game back for a Game 5, if there's concerns about, the Padres have already seen all these guys, you switch the wires, you move people around. Kopech all of a sudden is your 9th inning guy again. Treinen can move up in the pecking order. They're in a really, really good spot. You change the lane of hitters that they face, and all of a sudden it's a different pitcher, it's a different day. So the Dodgers suddenly, after we felt as terrible as we did following Game 2, maybe worse after Game 3, you're in a really, really good spot to take a stranglehold of this series and then go meet those Mets on Sunday.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some more clarification when Matt joins us as far as perhaps a pitching plan. But obviously, it's Johnny Holstaff. Everyone's on deck in an elimination game back against the wall. And let's say it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Okay, that's fine. But he's going to obviously have a very short leaf if need be. Maybe Yama shoves a little bit more than he did in game one of this series of the NLDS. I'd love to see him go deep into the game. I'd love to have him have a little bit more conviction in his pitches and kind of, just force the issue, be aggressive, attack the hitters at the plate. If he's not working out, Jack Flaherty is right there, and if for whatever reason Jack doesn't have it, then the entire staff is there, and then you figure out hopefully the CS at a later date. But I think this is a team that, man, I was proud of. If I can be proud of a team, I was proud of what they did yesterday, and I like all of the buttons that they pushed. The bullpen doesn't get enough credit. Bardo,
Yep.
the bullpen coach, doesn't get enough credit with what he's been able to do for this team. And again, when you have your 5 through 8 hitters producing and you can count on the stars being stars, that's a really good recipe for success.
Yeah, so let's talk biggest takeaways from Game 4 and how it translates to Game 5 as we welcome in managing editor of Dodger Blue, Matthew Moreno, world famous here on the YouTube, of course, and he's a busy man this time of year. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're
What's up,
feeling
Matt?
good.
Great to see you, buddy.
Dodgers winning Game 4 makes everybody feel real good. What's your biggest takeaway from that Game 4 victory?
I mean, I think it probably has to be the bullpen, right? You guys hit on it. As much of a strength as we know that the bullpen has been for the Dodgers this season, anytime you kind of get into a setting like that where you're using 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 relief pitchers in the same game, if one or two doesn't have it, it very easily could go south and in a hurry. And so to see that not only be the case, but they pitched a shutout. So they clearly, they dominated the Padres. I know Alex Vesia ran into some trouble with the first two guys getting on in his second inning of work, but for him to work out of that and the rest of the relievers to kind of just keep passing the baton to each other certainly was impressive.
What do you think about the fact that Kike was in the lineup yesterday, Matt? I'm not saying that Kike is the reason they won Game 4, but I do like the fact that he's in there providing a little bit of a spark plug. We know the energy that Kike brings, and we know the resume, honestly, in the postseason. Do you anticipate? I've not seen the Dodgers lineup yet, obviously, because the game's not even until tomorrow. So do you anticipate that Kike will be back in there?
I think he will be. And it's twofold. One, it's obviously, like you said, Kike's postseason resume and his success. And that's something that I've talked to, on our show when we've discussed his struggles earlier in the year. And I know things turned for him once he went to get some glasses and started wearing those. But I kept reminding everybody, hey, like, even if he struggles all throughout the regular season, he's here for October. And one way or another, he shows up in those moments. And we saw it last year. Unfortunately, it didn't matter in Game 3 against the Diamondbacks, but he was put into the lineup. He had a couple hits. I anticipate him to be in the lineup again now this year for Game 5, both because, yes, he has, the proven track record. And also Miguel Rojas, he told us last night, he did acknowledge and admit that he's not sure yet about his availability, but he does seem to be dealing with some pretty significant pain right now.
Yeah, I wanted to expand on the Rojas situation. I mean, obviously, dude's a gamer. He's a grinder. We know how much he wants to be in there, but maybe we saw in Game 3 there are some limitations with that injury. I'm okay with him hanging out on the active roster, but it feels like at this point, if you can't post at arguably the most important position on the field, maybe you shouldn't be playing, and you need to open up that opportunity for the next guy. Tommy Edman playing a really nice shortstop as well, and if Kike Hernandez is in there, that's great. Do you feel in your heart of hearts here that Miggy Rowe, and knowing how much he loves somebody like Miguel Rojas, can he force his way into a lineup if he says he feels good enough, or is he somebody that just stays available off the bench, on the active roster and can get a key hit late in the game?
Yeah, I really don't see any scenario where he's in the lineup. And with his injury, the night that it happened in Game 3 when he aggravated it and had to come out, he said the next day is always worse. And so that pretty much eliminated right off the bat. Like, I think the Dodgers knew he wasn't going to be available for Game 4. My guess is he's still, limited. He keeps referencing that, and not that he's using it as an excuse, but just to be transparent with us, that he is in a lot of pain right now and it is challenging for him. And so I think you factor all of that in. It's a Game 5. If you lose, there's no tomorrow for the Dodgers. And again, they have not only backup options, but high quality options. Tommy Edman can play a very capable shortstop. As we just mentioned, Kike Hernandez can play all over the field. We saw it last night with him and Chris Taylor sort of flip-flopping almost every inning, it seemed like. And then you layer in, what Kike does with the bat in October. And to me, there just really isn't any reason to push Rojas to have to play through that injury right now.
You
Yeah.
mentioned Tommy Edman a couple of different times so far in our conversation, guys. And obviously, we could very well see Jack Flaherty tomorrow if Yama gets into trouble early, unless they start Flaherty or unless they start a bullpen game. God only knows. Maybe Kike starting the game, as crazy as this season has gone so far. But Matt, in your opinion, who has been the most valuable pickup? We saw Michael Kopech come in and shove in the third inning. We see what Jack Flaherty's been able to do so far. And we've mentioned the contributions already of Tommy Edman. What's the most valuable pickup at the deadline from what you've seen so far?
I think it's Kopech, but in the specific context of our conversation now, I think Edman has the potential to make the most impact because of the injury to Miguel Rojas and the Dodgers potentially needing to move some pieces around. But as a whole, I think the bullpen did go through, and every group does. I know a lot of your guys' followers focus on the Dodgers, obviously, and they get up in arms when a relief pitcher isn't perfect and things are happening. But that's baseball, right? And so Kopech really, though, I think did help stabilize things. And you guys mentioned at the beginning of the show, he's obviously a high leverage option, but we saw him last night in I think the third inning or fourth inning, really early on, which was completely different, and he really didn't show any signs of being thrown off by that. And so since the trade deadline, I would go Michael Kopech. But if we're talking about just Game 5 specifically, I think Tommy Edman, and even last night, his availability, his being able to play shortstop is the biggest impact for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those guys, Jack Flaherty, may be on the table to start Game 5. It could be bullpen. Of course, we know there's a fair chance Yamamoto in there has struggled against these Padres in Korea, and another early April start, and then we saw in Game 1. Is there a world where they run back another bullpen game or go Flaherty and try to hope and pray and cross your fingers that Yamamoto can start a Game 1 of an LCS? Or are they going to potentially put their faith in that big offseason acquisition, that $325 million man? You're showing, hey, I believe in you investment. What do you think the plan is bullpen wise or pitching?
This is it's interesting because you mentioned Yamamoto's history of against the Padres, right? It's not just the Game 1 that maybe he looked a little shaky. So, part of me feels, do you start him and say, look, we pretty much only need 3 innings, 4 innings type thing? Dave Roberts, when he gets to the playoffs, we've all heard him say the message to the Dodgers pitchers is go as hard as you can for as long as you can. He repeats it every year. And so is it a scenario where you tell Yamamoto, we need 3 innings, maybe 4, and then we're going to hand it over to the bullpen? Or do they not even go down that path? Because like you said, still a relatively small sample size, but again, we're talking win or go home. Factoring that in, I would go bullpen game. I think, the Dodgers obviously executed it extremely well in Game 4. And, if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Jack Flaherty, he has the potential to certainly give the Dodgers a quality start, but he wasn't exactly lights out either. And so there's concerns with both of your starting options. And at this point, throughout the NLDS, the bullpen has been the biggest strength of the pitching staff.
Matt Darvish was lights out for the San Diego Padres. He's going to be the starter, of course, for Game 5 for San Diego. How does this Dodger lineup attack him? Because this is a guy that has about 15 different pitches in his repertoire, and he looked really good when he pitched in Game 2. How do they attack him early and take any chance of the Padres fans that are at Dodger Stadium out of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier said than done, but capitalize on his mistakes. We did see it in as well as he pitched against them earlier in his first start of this series. The Dodgers also made a lot of hard contact, and credit to the Padres defense for turning those into outs more times than not. And so if you're the Dodgers, you sort of feel like, will the batted ball luck sort of fall back in our favor at this point? Like they weren't striking out necessarily every single at bat where you feel like you guys really need to overhaul your approach. So it's kind of, get him in the strike zone, maybe hone in on a couple of, like you mentioned, his 15 pitches and see what you can do.
Hey, listen, the last time he started an elimination game at Dodger Stadium, it did not go well for Darvish. We need that version of you, Darvish, again back at Dodger Stadium. Also, the last time we were all at Dodger Stadium, things did not go well for the Dodgers, did not go well for the fans. We saw Padres reliever Jeremiah Estrada talking about, they shouldn't be allowed to play there at Dodger Stadium. What do you think the vibes are going to be like at Chavez Ravine on Friday? Maybe a more calm fan base? Maybe the Dodgers not letting the Padres get under their skin?
Yeah, I think it won't be as hostile as we saw, and I hope not. Like there was no excuse. I know you guys were all over. Like there was no excuse for that behavior that we saw from the fans. I think there will be a mixture of excitement and some angst because, of course, it is an elimination game at this point. But I'm hoping, that it's played out on the field and the fans, boo, cheer, and all that stuff. But other than that, don't get involved. And the players have said that. And so if you're a fan who thinks, Jurickson Profar was asking for it, he was engaging with us, this and that, like every player has said, let us kind of determine the game, don't get involved. And so I'm anticipating it to be a good atmosphere at Dodger Stadium and hopefully much better than what we last saw.
Absolutely right. Just let the play do the talking. Everything else will fall in line from there. Matt, I've asked Clint this. He's asked me the same question. What has been your X factor so far in the series? And furthermore, what is your X factor in Game 5?
I'll answer Game 5 first because I think that one's a little bit easier, and I'll stick with Kike Hernandez. I think he's in the lineup. I think he has a knack for the big games, the big at-bats. The entire series, I mean, I don't want to be a cop-out, but the bullpen, right? I mean, short of when the Padres blew the game open, I think we've seen they're in a stretch of 15 consecutive scoreless innings or something like that, and certainly the bulk of that came just in Game 4. But yeah, I mean, I think all those guys deserve a ton of credit. Alex Vesia told us last night that, we have a solid group and we're versatile and we're willing to pitch in any kind of inning, any role type thing. And we saw that throughout the season. And we're seeing it now again.
What needs to go right for the Dodgers to take Game 5 against the Padres?
Strong pitching and early. So regardless of, if you go traditional starter, regardless of if it's Flaherty or Yamamoto, don't let the Padres take another 3-0 lead in the first inning, be up 4-1 through the first 2 innings. Because if the Dodgers will start, if they have to play uphill, we've seen them be able to come back. We saw a comeback fall, run short. But when you get into a Game 5, at that point, I would start to worry, do players begin to press a little bit more because they know that there's no tomorrow.
And I tell you what, they know if they get past the Padres, they're not going to have an easy opponent in the New York Mets. I mean, how much of that perhaps was on the mind? I know you don't want to look ahead in a series, certainly, but that's a tough team. So, and I said yesterday on our postgame show, Matt, that if they got out of this round, they're going to the World Series. I think this round has been such a bugaboo over the course of the last couple of seasons, being bounced early. But the Mets are formidable. How do you think the Dodgers match up? Let's just assume they're going to, for positivity's sake, let's assume that they beat the Padres and they do meet the Mets. How do they match up?
And maybe these will be famous last words. I think they match up a little bit better with the Mets. I think the Padres, it's tough whenever you play a division opponent in the playoffs. There's obviously a ton of familiarity. The Padres certainly have a lot of top-end talent and roster depth. And not to take anything away from the Mets, I think their biggest thing going for them that we've seen in October's past is they're the quote-unquote hot team right now. And so it is a little ironic that heading into the playoffs, everybody, at least what I was seeing a lot of, is Dodger fans were concerned about the Padres and trying to manipulate the standings to avoid them. And, fine, like you said, for positivity's sake, let's say they get past the NLDS, and now waiting for you is a red-hot Mets team that has upset the Brewers and Phillies at this point. All of that being said, I think that would be a little bit more of a favorable matchup for the Dodgers. But again, that'll come down to I think their starting pitchers will need to give them more than what we've seen in the NLDS, because at this point, it's obviously a best-of-7 series.
Right.
Yeah, first things first, Dodgers in 5, NLDS Game 5 tomorrow night. Matt, Moreno, guys, appreciate you coming on with us. Hopefully we get to talk again in an LCS, maybe even in a World Series about this team. But, of course, runs a tight ship over there at DodgerBlue.com. Also, Lakers Nation does a lot of great stuff here on the internet. Go find him. You saw his handle somewhere on the internet. Make sure you guys are following Matt Moreno. Thanks, bud. Guys, we'll be back in a second after a quick word from AJ Przinsky, Eric Kratz, and Scott Braun.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, Mint Mobile, thanks for being a part of Dodgers territory. We appreciate you very much. Time now for last licks, and I'm just going to throw all of the puppers that we have right now in the foundation that are available for adoption. They're actually at an adoption event today at the Grove in California, so I'm hoping that that goes well. But take a look at these pups, guys. Bernadette, Penny, Pepperpot, Priya, and Sunny. Wonderful pups that all need a loving and wonderful forever home. They're all great with kids. They're all great with adults. They're all great with other dogs, cats, chickens, horses, pigs, whatever you need. They're good with all of them. All of them are up to date on vaccines. They're all very healthy. There are some that are too young to be spayed, but when they are old enough, Bernadette, Penny, and Priya, they will be required to be spayed. Sunny is great. I mean, they're just great. So if you're interested in adopting a forever friend for your family, please reach out, guidrysguardian.org, or hit us up on social. I can certainly get you more information. We appreciate that very much. Clint, I know we have some super chats. What's up?
Yeah, we got some people here hanging out in the chat. Ivan with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. As if Alanna, or asking you, if the Dodgers win, are you going to fly out to LA and run that Dodger flag at Dodger Stadium for an LCS?
I would be honored if the Dodgers would have me back and they head to the NLCS. I would be honored to go back to Dodger Stadium on my own dime, mind you, and run that flag. Absolutely, I'd be happy to do that.
And if you're coming back out here, maybe we'll have to do a live in-person show.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love that. Ivan, thanks for being a part of the super chat. We appreciate you. Here's another one. Mike Lopez, Dodgers bullpen agent 0. Can we add Wrobleski? Maybe. You don't know what the CS roster is going to be like. You can change after every round, obviously. So Derek Lewandowski, our social media extraordinaire and the head of Pinstripe territory, says that the Dodgers should start Pepperpot in Game 5. She's a senior lady, Derek. She's a Chihuahua. She's 11 years old. She's not going to be starting any games, but she can snuggle on the couch with you and watch the Dodgers win and the Yankees lose to Kansas City. All right, so
crafty veteran.
She's a crafty veteran lady. Yep, she's a lefty, by the way. Okay, so how about this thought for the road, Clint? Dave Roberts has been phenomenal in back against the wall situations. In elimination games so far, there has been 7 in which he has managed. He has a 5-2 record. So I have to say, my friend, that bodes well for the boys in blue.
Yeah, one of those losses, it's important to note, Yu Darvish was on the mound at Dodger Stadium, just wearing a different uniform, wearing a uniform that we like. A lot of things are lined up. After Game 3, we felt terrible. All of that Dodger PTSD that people have been harboring for years. You started seeing the helicopters, the bombs were crashing in front of you. You felt the walls closing in. But Game 4, like you said, there was heart, there was fight, there was something different about that team. That's the team I know. That's the team that I saw entering this postseason, where I was telling people, believe in this team. This is a very, very good team. They're going on aura. They're running on vibes, and they got that going again. And listen, the table could not be more set for them entering Game 5. You could argue the Padres are much more against the wall than the Dodgers. Yes, Yu Darvish is very well rested, but their bullpen is burned because they went to Dylan Cease on short rest. The Dodgers have a Jack Flaherty option. They have a bullpen option. They have a Yamamoto option. And they also have Mookie Betts doing great things with the baseball bat. Shohei Ohtani, he's not going to put up an offer against Yu Darvish once again. And everybody else in the lineup doing something. Feel good about your boys in blue in Game 5.
Yeah, Speederbilt. Ohtani starts and Decoy closes. I would just go to Dodger Stadium to see Decoy and run the flag. I need the Dodgers to be aggressive and get an early lead. Pibbles 9, I'm with you, my friend. So do I. And again, remember, in 2021, they were down 2-1 and they came back. And listen to beast mode. I mean, Matthew Kemp said that there was an aura with Kike, that there's something about him that he brings fun to the party. And again, I feel like that's part of the process. It's part of the reason that the Dodgers are successful in the postseason is when Banana Man is in the lineup. All right, so what's coming up with All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas?
So we will be back tonight, 6 o'clock Pacific time on my All Dodgers YouTube channel, doing some more preview. I'm sure we'll have some more information from the team. They do have a workout this afternoon from 4 to 6. So we'll hear from Dave, hear words from Dave and know what that starting pitching plan is, plus a whole bunch of thoughts from the crowd, a whole bunch of voicemails, and more. So guys, again, tube in, subscribe to the channel there. One more super chat before we get out of here, Alanna. Jose Machado, who also sent in a $5 super chat, but he also asked me this on my channel. Now he's asking you. His last name is Machado. He has a Dodger jersey that says Machado. Is he allowed to wear that?
Absolutely. No problem. It's number 8, right? Because of Kobe Bryant, right? Of course. Yeah. If you're a Dodger fan, Machado, I mean, why wouldn't you? That makes sense. That's a smart business decision, Jose. I mean, jerseys are expensive, bro. So yes, you can wear that. Don't let anybody give you any grief. Manny Machado is a very good player. Just be safe and don't throw anything on the field, Jose. Okay.
He needs the name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Jose Machado."
That's true. That's true. Or just cover. Yeah. I mean, sure. Just be safe. All right, buddy. Everybody behave. Be good stewards of the game. Be good Dodgers fans. We appreciate you all very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We got 580 viewers right now. We appreciate you guys very much. Got to score first and quick to go to the bullpen. Amen, Drew Duns. Amen. Again, make sure you listen to All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas tonight. Tube in for that. Like him. Subscribe. All the same things for here. We appreciate you guys very much. We'll keep you posted on when we're going to do a post game after Game 5 if we are. If not, we will see you next week at some point. Thanks so much. Go Dodgers.
Bye.